Well, good morning, everyone, and welcome back to our Utah Learn Like a Local or Learn and Live with a Local series and our insider tips and hidden gems. I'm Corey Marshall, your account director for the Utah Office of Tourism in Australia, New Zealand, and I am joined today live on location from Logan by Julie Hollis-Terrell. Hi, Julie.
Hello.
We'll get into the formal part of our introduction in just a little bit, but just want to make sure that everyone attending today can hear and see us okay. Maybe just let us know by typing us a little message in the chat box or clicking the wave icon or give us a smiley face. Let us know where you're calling in from. That'd be cool. We know from Australia that we're actually having our first Northern Hemisphere travel sale winter for the first time since the pandemic began. I've heard from a number of ski wholesalers that the phones are ringing, and there's lots of inquiry about the USA and specifically Utah. It's exciting. We know that Queensland is celebrating opening on December the 13th to the rest of Australia, and that message has come out. And New Zealand, for us that are here, we had Freedom Day in Auckland, one step closer to connecting to the rest of the country, and then in early January, the world. So there is positive momentum as we get closer to Christmas, and Julie is celebrating Christmas with us. Look at her colors of red today. We're here basically to learn more about her region. Just a couple of housekeeping items. If you have any questions as we go along, please go ahead and type them into the question box, and we'll get Julie to answer them either as she goes or at the end of the program. And as per our regular Utah updates, we do have a couple of questions for you all to answer before we get started today. So we're going to have those appear on the screen now. And if you guys can go ahead and answer them on the screen and then hit submit at the bottom once you're completed, that would be great. So have you been to Utah? Yes or no? Have you been to Logan? Yes or no? And have you sold Logan to your clients? And that can include not only Logan, but if you've sent a client to Cherry Peak or Beaver Mountain, those are in Julie's region as well. So you can kind of answer those, and we'll give you a couple of minutes to do so. Julie is giving away from Explore Logan a pack of delights today, including all kinds of local swag from her area to one lucky winner. I'll let her comment about what that includes in just a minute, but one special item is always a part of a pack of delights. Hey, Julie.
Yes.
To be eligible, you have to answer these questions now and then stay on till the end of the program. And we have a couple of questions at the end as well. It's great to see people calling in from across Australia and New Zealand, and welcome. All right, looks like we're almost there. So we will move forward to introducing a really close friend and colleague of mine, Julie Hollis-Terrell. So just to give you a little background on Julie. Julie is the director of the Cache Valley Visitors Bureau, also known as Explore Logan. Her and her husband, Jesse, are also incredible authors and have authored a book, 117 of the best things to do in Logan. She might not be able to go through all 117 in half an hour today, but she'll give us a quick update. She's a master's degree from the Utah State University, and just recently this year was the inaugural Angel Award winner, which maybe she'll tell us about, from a local lyric repertory company, which I know she'll go into what that means for us. But thrilled to have you join us, Julie, and welcome, and take it away.
Thank you very much, and thank you everybody for making time for me this morning down under. I'd love to swap you places for a minute. I'd love to be back. I've had a chance to visit in New Zealand and in Australia both, and I think they're two of the most beautiful destinations in the world. So you come to Utah, I'll come back to see you, and we'll both enjoy it and in our own ways. So Corey wanted me to introduce myself just a little bit more. I will tell you that I love every kind of adventure there can be. So I love to try new things, and I'm not good at scrapbooking. I don't love that, but pretty much everything else. I love to go to the rodeo. I love to go to the opera. I love to see, weird and quirky things. I've been to every state in the United States of America and over 30 countries. So I do love to travel. And so I feel like I can honestly say some of the unique things to see in Logan, Utah, with good eyes to be able to tell you really what's great. And I won't tell you what isn't, but I just won't talk about those things. So not that we have any here because it's paradise, but one of the things that you can win today from our Logan Pack of Delights is my favorite, cow socks. We are in an agricultural mountain valley, and we're famous for our cheese and for our ice cream, and so everybody needs a pair of Logan, Utah cow socks, and these can be yours if you stick around and answer the questions after our session. So we do have wonderful theater productions here, and the Lyric Theater Repertory Company was very gracious to award me with their inaugural Angel Award for some work I've done in supporting the arts. And I don't really know how you knew that, Corey, but thanks for spilling it. So the most important things as we prepare for the holidays is, even though we're halfway around the world from each other, I want to wish you all a very Merry Christmas and healthy holidays and New Year as well. So, all right, let's take it away, shall we, Corey?
Sounds good, Julie. We'll get started, everyone, with a taste of what it's like in Logan. Quick video.
Okay, thank you very much. So now you've had a little taste of some of the activities that you can experience when you're in Logan, Utah. So let me just first of all show you a little map so that you have some context of where we're located. So you can see Utah in the United States, and then over on the right-hand side, you can see the very large circle emphasizing the coolest part of the entire state, which is where I live. So about 90 minutes south of us is Salt Lake City, which of course you know is where our international airport is located. And so a lot of people who plan their trips to either ski vacations this time of year or to travel on to Yellowstone and Jackson to the Grand Teton National Parks, fly into Salt Lake City and then head north and come through our area on their way up to those national parks and other destinations. But that's where we're located. And we're in, as I mentioned, one of the most northernmost parts of the state. So our geography is a lot different than what you see in southern Utah with red rocks. Instead, we're more beautiful mountains and lakes and valleys. So let me just tell you a few of the highlights that your visitors, or you, if you come, can experience. We have a beautiful historic downtown area, and it kind of is like if you step back in time to the 1950s, you'd be in downtown Logan. We've got, you can see the photo on the left of the Bluebird restaurant that's currently under renovation and scheduled to open again in the spring, but it's the longest running restaurant in the state of Utah. And then we have our theater district right downtown. We have 3 historic theaters in one block. And one of the biggest events that occurs there is Utah Festival Opera and Musical Theater. And they bring performers, they audition performers from New York, from Broadway, from all San Francisco Opera, from Houston, from all over. And these performers come and live here during the summer months and under one roof in the Ellen Eccles Theater, which is the beautiful picture you can see with all the red seats. They perform great Broadway shows and operas. They have just announced their 2022 season, which is going to be the opera Carmen and the Magic Flute. And they are going to do the Broadway shows, The Man of La Mancha and Joseph and the Amazing Technicolor Dreamcoat, which are all very fun shows. Well, I mean, except for the operas, because you know somebody always dies. But besides that part, they're going to be fantastic. Around their season of performances, they also have workshops and backstage tours and classes and breakfast with the stars and classic movies, and it is awesome. And the tickets are really affordable as well. And you get to see performers, like I said, who perform on the Metropolitan Opera stage and in Broadway right here in Logan, Utah. And at the same time, a theater around the corner called the Lyric Repertory Company is doing 4 different shows in repertory, classic movie theater. It's awesome. In before COVID, in one 6-week period, in about mid-June to the first part of August, we had more than 230 live performances in the downtown area. It's remarkable. We're kind of obsessed with the arts around here. And so we've got also, you can see the photo that has the flowers and the umbrellas. Just over a year ago, the city of Logan redid this area, this block called Center Street. It's a Center Street block. They widened all the sidewalks and put out all of these umbrellas and tables and chairs. And there's a nice archway there for photo ops. And there are some cafes and some that are going to be opening by summertime this year, some brand new places to eat downtown. And it's just a really great environment just to hang out and enjoy the beauty of the day. All right, so a couple of other things that we don't want you to miss are listed on this slide for you too. Utah State University's Aggie ice cream. Now, the reason we're called the Aggies, that's our mascot, is because we were an agricultural college that started in the 1880s, in 1888. And we really emphasized dairy and dairy production. And so, in fact, January is going to be the 100th anniversary of Aggie ice cream. So we've had plenty of time to practice and get the recipes right. So you can try Aggie Blue Mint or lots of other flavors. My favorite is Aggie Bull Tracks, which is chocolate with peanut butter and caramel. Are you kidding me? It's so delicious. So we have lots of other dairy, cheese places here. One of the largest cheese makers in the United States is here, but you should definitely try Aggie ice cream while you're here. You can see the photo on the right-hand side is the Logan Temple for the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And it's just a beautiful landmark in the landscape of Cache Valley. So Logan is the largest city in Cache Valley. And so that's why we're Explore Logan and Cache Valley. But most of these things are located in Logan, including being able to see and walk around the grounds of that beautiful temple. Okay, so now, in the video that you saw, there was a lot of portrayal of events that happened out at the American West Heritage Center. So all of those things that look like you were stepping back in time is because you were at the American West Heritage Center, not because that's how we live here in Cache Valley. I feel like I should make that straight. But you can see they have daily programming all summer long from May and through until September. And then they can do groups at any time. And they have special festivals, like for example, in the springtime, they have baby animal days where they bring out all the baby chicks and geese and pigs and cows and everything else that are cute and babies, and everyone gets to come and pet them. But in the meantime, the whole purpose of this place, it's an outdoor living history museum. So they really strive to interpret history of the American West in an appropriate way. So they have different areas designated for the mountain men who came to Cache Valley in the 1820s, and they were trapping for beaver furs because that was all the rage for fashion in London and New York City at the time. And they have an area that's dedicated to the pioneers. And that was in the 1850s, the pioneers who came across the country, either settling here in Utah or headed to California. And then they have a turn of the century farm. And so they have activities in all of these areas that you can participate in. You don't just watch them do the stuff, which kind of makes this place more unique. So if you want to throw hatchets at the tree stump like the mountain men did, you can do that. If you want to gather eggs at the farm site or learn to milk a cow, you can do that. You can pan for gold. They have train ride and pony rides, and they even have their own herd of bison. So you can get a little bit closer than you could in Yellowstone and get a picture without worrying about being killed. So that's always a bonus. And it's very affordable as well, and a great place for families. And this is the view of one of the ranges of mountains from the American West Heritage Center. It's stunning. It's so beautiful here. Okay, so one of the highlights that I love to emphasize is our Cache Valley foodie trek and signature product tours. So we have a lot of foods that are made or grown here and sent out all over the world. I don't know if you've ever seen goldfish crackers like the ones that are here from Pepperidge Farms in the United States makes them, but we have one of the factories here, and it provides all of the goldfish crackers for the entire Western United States, which is an awful lot of fish. So it's we have all these places on our list of on the self-guided tour, and you can go and have Aggie ice cream. You can have cheese. We have fourth generation beekeepers here. You know, Utah is the beehive state, and these people have been gathering honey since their pioneer ancestors started doing it generations ago. So you can get honey here. We have an internationally renowned coffee house and hand dipped chocolates, and plus fun restaurants like Angie's Diner and Cafe Sabor, which is a Mexican place in an old train station, and Elements, some higher end places. And we just have a wide variety of places to eat, which is fun. I mentioned that we have the 3 theaters in the downtown. On the left hand side is the Lyric Theater, and they're going to be opening their new production of A Christmas Carol the day after tomorrow, and I'm going to be there with bells on, if I can be quiet with bells on, but I'm going to be there. I'm so excited about that production. And next to that, the photo is the Utah Theater, which is we show classic movies there year round, and then during the summer months, during Utah Festival Opera season, they have live productions there as well. And then on the far right, you can see the Ellen Eccles Theater, which is the one that had the red seats that you saw in the photo before. It holds about 1,100 people. It was built in 1923, and it is a gem. It's so beautiful. Like, you walk into that place and you're like, are you kidding me? A community of this size has this kind of a theater. I just love living here. It's so great. Okay, so those are some of the things downtown you should know about. Then just in Cache Valley itself. So you can see the Wellsville Mountains. That's one of the ranges of mountains. It's the same set of mountains that you saw in the other pictures from the American West Heritage Center. And we are 10 minutes. The downtown Logan area is 10 minutes from the National Forest. There are very few places that you can go in the entire United States and have that kind of accessibility to be sitting in a hotel and 10 minutes later you can be hiking. So you can be hiking, biking. We've got blue ribbon fly fishing. We've got line fish. I mean, like regular kind of fishing for people who don't have to have coordination. That's like for me. So we have that kind of fishing. We have canoeing, we have kayaking, and we also have really amazing rock climbing here. We have more than 400 bolted climbs for people who really want an outdoor adventure, because we have a lot of limestone formations, and those are really great for climbing. Now, the important thing you need to know this time of year is that we have 2 ski resorts in Cache Valley, and one of them is up Logan Canyon. So when I told you that you're 10 minutes away, excuse me, I have to have a drink. Notice that was water, not eggnog, so I just wanted you to point that out. So Logan Canyon National Scenic Byway is a special designation for our highway that goes through the forest. And that means that it is preserved in lots of ways from development and other things that would kind of get in the way of its natural beauty. Well, up Logan Canyon National Scenic Byway is Beaver Mountain Ski Resort. And Beaver Mountain is the longest running family-owned ski resort in the United States. It's owned by the Seeholzer family. And Marge Seeholzer, who is well into her 70s, is always at the ticket window and greets everyone when they come, and she is a firecracker. But Beaver Mountain is like, it has a different feel than the big, super sophisticated resorts in Salt Lake City and in Park City. So this is kind of like, I mean, not the quality is any different. It's as good or better. But they've got plenty of room to ski, 4 big lifts. And you just kind of feel like you're with family and everyone's friendly and nice to each other. It's totally different vibe than Salt Lake, and you should experience them both. And one thing that's kind of fun is they don't have snowmaking equipment there. So when you call them, if you ever get their answer machine, even if it's in the middle of summer, Marge is on the phone and saying, leave a message. And at the very end of all of her voicemails, it always says, and don't forget, pray for snow. So that's what we're doing right now, getting ready for the season by praying for snow. So we also have the newest resort in the state of Utah, and that is called Cherry Peak Resort. And that's just about 25 minutes away from downtown Logan. And one thing that's kind of a cool attraction about that is that they also have inner tubing there. So you rent a tube, and then they have like a moving sidewalk. So you get to go to the top of the hill, slide all the way down. And instead of being at the bottom hill of the hill and being so sad and looking at the top, wishing that you did not have to slog yourself up there, you just get on this moving sidewalk and it takes you right up to the top of the hill. It's the best. So you can do that plus skiing and snowboarding. Now, another thing that is cool during the wintertime here is that we have an area where the Forest Service, the wildlife management area, feeds elk. And so I don't actually know if do you have elk in Australia, New Zealand? I don't know if you do. They're big. They're like bigger than deer. So they have a place where they feed them. And so you can go and view this huge herd of elk. Usually they have like 500 elk that you can see, and that is really cool. So there's some other great outdoor opportunities. Wait, we're still in winter. I forgot to tell you. We have the top 15 snowmobiling in the nation. And you can rent a snowmobile at Beaver Creek Lodge, which is right across the street from the ski resort. And you can either go on a guided tour or you just get on your snowmobile and drive off. And we have more than 300 miles. I don't know what that translates to in kilometers. Sorry. A lot of miles of groomed trails. And you can see forever from the top of the mountains. It's so amazing. And they also have all the gear for that. So you know, if you need heavy duty boots or, you know, the goggles, helmets, gloves, even, I mean, probably you'll be bringing those anyway. But if you need the real heavy duty stuff, they have that for you. So you don't have to worry about packing it. In the summer months, in that same place, it's the one place where you can sleep over up in the canyon, is Beaver Creek Lodge. They also have horseback riding and razor riding, which you saw a little bit of that on the video. And that's kind of like the little cars almost that are kind of close to the ground, but four-wheel drive vehicles that you can just go off into the woods, and they'll send you with maps, or they'll send you with a guide, and you can just go exploring all over the mountains. That either way is beautiful. So those are some fun things up Logan Canyon. And so swimming, we've got Hiram State Park, and we also have like a water park that's organized by the city. Nearby, about a half an hour away, we have Crystal Hot Springs, and there's beautiful wildflowers all spring and summer long. And for us, those months would be starting in about end of May, but June, July, and even the first part of August. And we have great bird watching too. So, and some wonderful hiking. And it's a great place. You can be hiking in the wilderness. The picture you can see at the bottom here is a place called Tony Grove. You can be hiking there, and within an hour, you can be sitting in a world-class theater performance. So we really have the best of all the world. So here's our great outdoors. You're seeing a picture of the Jardine juniper tree, and that's one of the oldest Jardine juniper trees in the world. And there's a hike that goes to that, which is fun. Then you can see the razors, those two vehicles, a beautiful view of the Logan River. And you can see some of that limestone outcropping there where, I mean, people obviously aren't climbing right there because it's right by the water, but that kind of rock formation goes all the way through, most of the way through our canyon. So also you can see that's Hiram State Park, where you can go swimming, or there's other water recreation activities there. Now let me show you some lodging opportunities. This is the campus of Utah State University. See the A at the top? That's for the Aggies. And Beaver Creek Lodge, we've got brands that you're familiar with, obviously, Best Western, Spring Hill Suites by Marriott, the Comfort Inn, Hampton Inn and Suites. That is, the Hampton Inn and Suites just opened in 2019. And so then we had 2020 where no one slept in a hotel. So, I mean, it's practically brand new. And it's right across the street from my office, which is right in the historic downtown area. So that's a great spot. We also have an extended stay Town Place Suites by Marriott that just opened earlier this year. I'll show you a couple of pictures. So the Hampton Inn, you can see is the top left. And as I mentioned, that's right across the street from the historic downtown area. So easy walking distance to the theaters and little shops. The University Inn is an independent property that's on the campus of Utah State University. The thing that's fun about that is everyone who stays there gets a scoop of Aggie ice cream for free. Like, sign me up. Bottom left-hand corner, you can see Beaver Creek Lodge. And this is where I was telling you, you can stay in the canyon, and you can walk out the door of your hotel room and jump on your snowmobile, literally right there, or horseback riding, or the AT or the razor riding during the summer months. And then just a picture of our Best Western Plus, which is just a block away from us as well. So there are some options. Man, there's just so many awesome things about Logan that I want to tell you, but I'm going to wrap things up a little bit by telling you that we're right on what we call Yellowstone Loop. So there are lots of opportunities to experience many different things in the state of Utah if your clients are wanting to plan a trip to West Yellowstone or to Jackson. But mostly what I'll say is that Logan is the most important one. We're a very affordable stop. A lot of people, they'll come here on their way up to Jackson or stay overnight on their way back to the airport. We're about an hour and 20 minutes from the airport, and it's affordable and a totally different experience than being in the city of the Great Salt Lake. So those are just a tip of the iceberg of some of the great things that you can experience if you personally want to come to Utah and to Logan, or send your guests. We'd love to host all of you and come and discover our hidden gem of Cache Valley right here in northern Utah. Thanks, everybody.
Well, thanks, Julie. Awesome job as always representing. And I think you just touched on it at the end, especially from the Australia-New Zealand market. Well, throughout really, but from the Aussie-New Zealand market, I know this Yellowstone Loop itinerary that we will include in our follow-up tomorrow is definitely in the world of, post-pandemic of great interest. As people can drive themselves, they can stop in Logan and have an incredible and safe theater experience on the way as they travel next spring, summer, and fall. But obviously, for the agents on the call that have ski vacations being planned this winter to Utah, ask your local wholesaler, or work with the resorts that Julie's mentioned, and maybe have them consider skiing the Beav or Cherry Peak. It is such an exceptional, as you said, family resort experience to add on to the iconic Utah ski holiday that definitely needs to be considered. So guys, if you have any questions for Julie, go ahead and pop those in the box, and we will get her to answer those. But in the meantime, we also have some questions for you. And of course, you need to answer these correctly to be eligible to win that amazing pack of delights, including your very own cow socks, sent to you all the way from Logan, Utah. So I'll take question 1. There they are again. That's what we're playing for. So what activities can you do at the American West Heritage Center? Can you throw a hatchet at a tree stump, make a ragdoll, pan for gold, or all of the above? Julie, you can read question 2.
Okay. How many historic theaters are in downtown Logan? 0, 29, 3, or 6?
And then question number 3, where did Cache Valley get its name? From early settlers eating donuts, from French trappers who hid their furs, a local bank printed its own money for a while, or named after a famous football player?
And I'm kind of sorry because I didn't really say the answer to this one in my presentation, which I meant to.
Do you want to give a hint?
No.
Okay.
But I will say that the word cache in French means to hide or store.
Okay.
Does that help? Is that a good hint?
I think that's fair enough. You almost gave the answer. All good. You're up.
Okay. Which of these items is not on our Cache Valley foodie trek? Coffee, honey, cheese, salami.
Brilliant. I did see in the chat box just a question around, can they get a copy of this? And I know that in the presentation itself, there's links off to the different suppliers and accommodation providers that Julie mentioned. So we'll make sure we include a copy of the PowerPoint in our follow-up email tomorrow, in addition to the recording, in case you want to send it out to any of your other agents in your office or colleagues that you may think relevant for as well. so many great wholesalers across Australia and New Zealand that are packaging self-drive vacations across Utah. Because of Utah's investment in the Australia-New Zealand market, we're actually tracking 5% ahead of our competitive set in the latest travel market insights reports for 2022 bookings. So thank you, agents, for considering Utah and selling Utah to your clients as we reopen to the world. We also have an extensive image gallery and all kinds of great content on both visitutah.com as well as on Julie's site, which is Explore Logan. And I put those all in the chat box, but we'll also include those in our follow-up. If anyone has another question for Julie, please feel free to pop her in the chat. One thing that came to mind is I just wanted to make sure that I understand correctly, but so someone that's coming up to ski the Beeve or Cherry Peak this winter, can they see a show in the winter?
We have shows that are scheduled on many dates. So the best thing to do would be to look on our calendar on explorelogan.com to see when those shows are playing. Okay. So just depending on the timing of when they're here, we have lots of different productions all year round. But
they are in the winter, of course, some of them.
Yes.
Yeah, exactly. So they have year-round performances. Explore Logan's a great spot, and they have a calendar for the 3 theaters. So great spot to check out. Amazing. Well, Julie, you've done it again. We appreciate all of your insider information and travel tips as we complete our last of the Utah webinars pre-Christmas. Thank you so much for all your time today, Julie, and thanks agents and operators for all of your time today in tuning in.
Are you going to play my really cool video at the end?
Do you want to intro it? You're welcome to intro it. I'll sign off. I was just going to say Merry Christmas to everyone and Happy Holidays. And you can lead with the final intro of the video.
Oh, we just have a little 30-second what it looks like for the rest of the time in summer. So thanks, you guys. And this is starting off with Angie's restaurant where you can clean the kitchen sink. Here we go.
All right. Thanks, guys. Thanks, everyone. Thanks, Julie.
Explore Logan Utah.com.